I think I really like this mascara. Like, I think this might be like my favorite mascara from Yves Rocher. Alright, so let's get started. Now for today's video, I have no freaking idea where this video is going to go, but I do know that I really want to show you all the new Yves Rocher eye makeup. So today they just released a bunch of like new eyeliners, cream shadows, liquid liners, eyebrow products. So I really just wanted to sit down and play with some of the new makeup. So I have all the products in here. Well, it's not in here. I lied. This bag is empty. I just put everything on my table. But I have all the products and I'm really curious just because I have never really tried Yves Rocher liners before. Like the only one I did ever try is like this one right here. This is their old crayon khôl liner. And I also use very often their brow pencils. So this one is one of their old ones and this one is a little bit dirty just because I use this very often and it's really good, and especially for the price, like these products are very good. So I'm going to start the video by doing some swatches. So I have the jumbo pencils. I also have the like pencil liners. I have all the new khôl liners and everything. So let me just jump into it. And actually the like thing I'm most excited about is these products right here. Now these are the Lifeproof eyeshadows. So they're kind of like a stick cream eyeshadow. These kind of products can be very useful if you want to like just throw a little bit of color on the lid, or you can also use this as a base before applying your powder eyeshadow, just so that the powder eyeshadow has something to stick on and it's going to be even brighter depending on which color you use underneath. So for the jumbo eyeshadows, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 new shades. So swatching them, they do feel really creamy. They have a lot of pigment. The only shades that like are not as pigmented are the lighter one, especially the shade called Rose Nude number 1. This one I feel like does not have as much payoff or as much pigment. It does have a little bit of like a shine, but nothing too crazy, so I'm not really sure how this one is going to look on the eyes. Next, I'm going to be swatching. These are the waterproof eye pencils. You have 6 new shades, and the one I'm the most excited about is this one right here. From the packaging, it looks like a really pretty gray purple with like a little bit of a glitter in it. And these are the type of eyeliners that you want to use when you want something very long lasting, something very easy to use because you don't really have to sharpen them just because they're a little like pencil. I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the one I was so excited about just because I thought it would look a little bit more shifty and more purple, but it's actually just a gray shade. If you want a gray shade, then you could go for this one. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's still really pretty. But overall, I feel like these shades are really pretty. They're really wearable as well. Next, we're going to swatch the khôl liners. I've been using their old pink one for a very long time to use in the waterline. I really love this eye pencil just because it's not a stark white shade, so you can really use this in the waterline and it'll look really pretty and natural, and it will open up the eyes really nicely. But I think it doesn't exist anymore, so I'm kind of bummed. But I'm still excited because they kind of have a really pretty new shade. Now this shade right here, it looks kind of burgundy. It says on the packaging that it's a purple shade, but like on the packaging it looks like a really pretty burgundy shade. Yeah, it's purple. It's not burgundy. Maybe the packaging is a little bit misleading, so maybe base your ideas of the color on the name and not the color of the packaging. But it's still a really pretty deep purple shade. And these khôl liners are one of my favorites just because they're really cheap and they're really creamy. So if you want to use these as a base for eyeshadow, so if you want to create, for example, a very pretty smoky eye, you can always use the black khôl liner as a base before applying your black eyeshadow on top, and it will stick really nicely on the lid, and they're really easy to blend out also. And then we also have two liners. So first of all, we have the felt tip liner, which is really nice because the felt tip is actually super small and super fine, so you can really create really pretty lines. I never really used this on my eyes before, so I'm not really sure if it is very long lasting. And then you have one of these, which I don't really like to use that often just because I'm really clumsy with drawing lines. I usually go for like felt tips because they have a little bit more control. If you do enjoy these type of liners, then you know, you do you. All right, and then to finish the eye category, and then I'm going to show you the brow products. We also have 4 new mascaras. So the first one, and I did try it before, is the curving mascara. So the brush looks like this. It has a little bit of a curve, so I guess it's like going to allow you to get really into those roots and really pull the lashes up. So if you're the kind of person to like very separated natural lashes, then you're probably going to like this. And then we also have the volume mascara, which has kind of like a very compact condensed brush. I feel like I'm going to really like this because that's the kind of brush I usually go for, just because I really want a lot of effect and I really want to apply a lot of mascara to my eyes. And then we also have the like hyped mascara. This is the Intense Metamorphose mascara. And this is supposed to do it all. It's supposed to give you length, it's supposed to give you volume. I actually think I'm going to use this one today because now that I'm looking at the brush is like right up my alley. This is the type of brush that I love. And then for the last one, we have the length mascara. I haven't really checked the brush yet. Oh, okay, so it's kind of a really spiky silicone mascara brush. I'm not really sure if I am going to like this because, like I said, I do prefer like the fibers, like bristles kind of wand applicator. But these brushes are really good if you want to create a very separated, very long lash type of look. So next, I'm so happy that they finally created more brow pencil shades. If you're looking for a brow pencil that's really good and affordable, then look no further. These are pretty nice. And then this is almost the last product. There's a lot of new things. So then you have the Precise brow pencil. These are called the Precision Eyebrow Pencils. I actually never tried these before, and they kind of feel a little bit more creamy than the pencils. And again, you have 4 shades. And then we are there, the last product to show you. Oh my god, I'm so excited because you know that I love my very fluffy, very crazy looking brows. And when I saw that they came out with a clear brow gel, I was mind blown because I used to use like their old eyebrow mascaras formula, and it wasn't really like making my brows stay in place. So I'm really curious to see if the clear one is going to do that and the new formula is going to do that. The brush of this is like very, very tiny, so you can really get into those small hairs to really comb them out. So today I have really no idea what type of look I want to do. I'm going to go through my complexion makeup very quickly just because I want the focus of this video to be about the brows and the eyes. So I'm going to start with my concealer. I already moisturized my skin, and today for my concealer I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup Concealer. This is in the shade Fair. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to place that on the high points of my face. I don't really want to apply too much makeup today, so I'm just placing this on the high points of my face. So I'm just going to take one of my Morphe and Lisa Frank sponge, and I'm just going to blend this concealer in. Alright, so as you can see, I have a very, very light coverage, but that's the way I like it. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply some bronzer. So I'm going to take my Tower 28 bronzer in the shade West Coast. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and warm up the product on my finger. And I'm just going to place that on the back of my hand. And while this is warm on the back of my hand, I'm just going to pick it up with a brush. I'm using a synthetic brush just so that it doesn't absorb too much of the product. And I'm just going to start and like blend this into the hollows of my cheeks and also the temples, just to warm up my complexion and give a little bit more dimension to my look. Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to go a little bit over the edges with my sponge just to make sure that everything is blended. And then just because I think I want most of my complexion to be creams, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette, and I'm going to go into the cream blush right here. It's a really pretty like pinky, almost peachy kind of shade. I'm going to take that on my sponge. I'm going to tap off the excess on my hand, and then I'm going to go on my cheeks. And this time I'm really going to target the blush right here under my eye. I'm also going to take a little bit of that blush and pat this on my temples and a little bit on my nose and my chin, just so that the blush is not like only on the cheeks and so that it looks a little bit more natural. All right, and before I apply my highlight, I'm just going to use my Milk Translucent Light powder, and I'm going to set specific areas of my face where I do want to reduce texture. I'm just going to set like around my chin, around my nose, because I do have a lot of texture there. And the powder is going to mattify those areas so they're not going to look as textured. And also I'm going to set just a little bit of my under eye just to make sure that everything stays in place. And for my highlight, of course, I'm going to go ahead and use the Yves Rocher highlight. This is a beautiful cream highlight. If you ever watched one of like my Yves Rocher's favorites video, you know that I am obsessed with this one right here. This is the highlighter duo from Yves Rocher, and this highlight is absolutely gorgeous. It's going to give you the most like natural glow from within. Like, do you see this? Do you see how like shiny this is? But it doesn't have any glitters. And I never told you about this, but this is also absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to stop telling you how pretty it is, and I'm going to show you how pretty it is. So I'm just going to take my sponge and rub my sponge on the highlight stick. And I'm going to start and just dab it on the high points of my cheeks. Like, do you see the glow? It gives such a beautiful, subtle glow. You cannot go wrong with this. This is gorgeous. Okay, I think I want to do something very elongated, very intense. So I'm going to start by using the khôl liner in the shade Brun number 2. And I'm going to use that and just start to like sketch the look and sketch like the shape of the makeup look I want to do. And first thing I'm noticing is how creamy these are. They're really gliding really nicely on the eyes. So I created a line just following the shape of my eye from the outer to my inner corner, and I extended this inner corner. And what's really practical with these khôl liners is that you can clean up the shape super easily, like with a little bit of a Q-tip. Alright, so I kind of have this shape going on right now, and I think I'm really liking this actually. I also just drew in my inner corner and I left the center empty, so I'm not really connecting both lines. So I'm like leaving this space right here empty. So I'm just going to go ahead and intensify the lines even more. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a JH42 brush, which is a very small, compact packing brush. And I'm just going to blend the brown eyeshadow into the center of my eye. And like, these are so easy to use, they're so creamy. So when you do a mistake, it's very easy to clean up. So I'm just going to go back and forth between the khôl liner and the brush until I have the blend and the intensity that I want. Okay, so now I'm doing something. I'm not sure if I'm liking it, but we did have that line going into nothing, so I just decided to create a V going back to my lash line. So I'm kind of creating a double winged liner. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm getting a little bit of trouble trying to like blend the khôl liner. I feel like just because of how creamy this khôl liner is, when I go ahead and try to like blend it out, like it's taking some of the product off on certain areas. So it's looking a little bit patchy, but I think I need to place a powder eyeshadow on top just to set it down in place. So I'm going to go into my, this palette is really rough looking. I really use this palette a lot. But I'm going to go into my Jackie Aina and ABH palette, and I'm going to go into the shade called Credit, which is a really deep brown shade. And I'm going to take that on a beveled brush, and I'm just going to set the khôl liner in place. Okay, so that's definitely doing something. Wow. Yeah, that's really pretty. That brown shade on top of that khôl liner looks so rich. And then I'm going to take a very small Q-tip. I'm going to dip this into some micellar water, and I'm just going to clean the shape right here in between like both wings. I'm even going to take some concealer, some of that milk concealer on the back of my hand. I'm going to take that on a small flat brush, and I'm going to clean up this line even more. I'm just going to go into my Pure X Raw Beauty Kristi palette, and I'm going to take that cream shade. You can use any matte cream shades you have, and I'm just going to set the concealer down. Next, on my lid, I think I want to go ahead and use a jumbo pencil. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the shade called Champagne, and I'm going to put this all over my lid just to give a little bit of like dimension to the look. That's really pretty actually. And this shade is a lot more shiny than what I thought it was. I hope it's not going to crease. That's the real question. I think I'm just going to apply a white liner in my waterline just to make my eyes a little bit brighter. And I'm going to use for that the Yves Rocher khôl liner in the shade number 7. And now I think I want to go ahead and put on some mascara. So I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm going to use the Intense Metamorphose mascara. I think I really like this mascara. Like, I think this might be like my favorite mascara from Yves Rocher. This is giving me a lot of length, volume, and everything. Maybe my lashes, they look a tiny little bit chunky, but I don't really mind. So this is not the type of mascara for someone who likes a more natural lash, just because this is giving me a lot of... It's giving me a lot. For my bottom lashes, I'm going to try the length one just to like try different mascaras. I'm curious to see. Okay, yeah, so this brush is definitely giving me separation. Oh, I think I also really like this mascara. But I'm going to do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are. My eye makeup is so asymmetrical. Please don't mind this eye too much, just because right now it's like really late at night and I kind of have neighbors under my feet, so I don't really want to talk too loudly and for too long. So I really just had to speed through this eye and like it's not looking good. But next I'm going to be using the Precision Brow Pencil, and then after I'm going to be using the clear mascara gel. So for the brow pencil, I first tried the blonde shade and it was way too light for me, so I decided to go ahead and use the shade number 2 Cendré, and I think this is a lot better actually. It's a really good shade. I'm going to use the clear brow mascara. This is the moment of truth, so I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to run this in my brows. Okay, now this is really promising actually. Oh my god, this is really promising actually. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I think I was excited a little bit too soon just because it is making my brows fluffier, like it's doing a very natural type of job. But I just feel like at the end of the day, my brows would just fall into their natural shape. I'm going to let you know how this lasted during the day, so check the description box below. I'm not sure if this is going to last. But I do really like the effect that it's doing. If you're looking for a very natural type of like fluffy brow look, then this is actually really pretty. Alright, so I didn't really do something very crazy with my lips. I just went ahead and used a gloss. This is the lip gloss in the shade Stick With You from the BFF collection from BH Cosmetics. So I just plopped on a gloss really quickly. I really like this shade. But overall, like usual, Yves Rocher makeup is kind of really good. It's not like the best makeup out there, but it's still really good for the price. But yeah, so that's pretty much my opinion on these products. I really hope this video, this review, and these swatches were useful to you. If you ever tried Yves Rocher makeup before, let me know in the comments below and let me know what's your favorite product. Mine is definitely the highlights. I cannot choose between both. Like both are so pretty. Maybe I like the cream one better. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. You can also subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every single Mondays, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of the makeup Mondays. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.